Daniel drove home slowly. Margaret was standing in the yard when he arrived, waiting. Her jaw clicked when she saw him. She shuffled forward, then came the sound, a long thunderous blast. The smell hit him immediately. Daniel covered his face. Even now, Daniel understood the rules. He could not kill her. That would be murder of a protected infected person. But if she died accidentally, then the marriage would finally end. So Daniel started arranging accidents. First, he tried the hospital. Margaret wandered through the emergency room doors while Daniel sat pretending to read a magazine. The waiting room froze. Then Margaret released a long echoing fart that spread across the room like chemical warfare. A child started crying. A nurse gagged. Margaret lunged at Daniel. Security guards tackled her. She bit one of them. Daniel sighed. That was not going to count as an accident. Next, he tried the grocery store. Lots of slippery floors, heavy shelves, plenty of possibilities. Margaret followed him down aisle 6. The smell arrived before she did. Then the sound. One old woman dropped a jar of pickles. Daniel moved near a tall stack of canned beans. If Margaret bumped the shelf, perfect accident. She lunged, slipped on a pickle. The shelf wobbled violently. Daniel held his breath. The cans rattled. Then the shelf stabilized. Margaret stood up again and bit the shopping cart. Then Daniel tried the house. He set traps, ropes, furniture. The place looked like a war zone. One afternoon, he tied a rope across the staircase. If she tripped, perfect accident. Margaret shuffled toward him. The smell arrived first, then the sound. Daniel stepped back. She hit the rope, fell forward, rolled down the entire staircase. Daniel waited, silence. Then Margaret stood up, her neck twisted sideways. She farted loudly and started climbing the stairs again. Eventually, Daniel stopped trying. Nothing worked. Margaret simply refused to die properly. So Daniel did the only thing left. He ran. He burst out the front door and sprinted down the driveway. Behind him, the door slammed open. Margaret stumbled outside, still chasing, still hungry, still legally his wife. Daniel glanced back. "Margaret, we talked about this," she groaned. Then came another thunderous blast of gas. Daniel winced. Even now above them, an airplane crossed the sky. Neither of them noticed. Inside the aircraft, passengers finished drinks and flushed the tiny bathroom. High above the neighborhood, something shook loose. A frozen block of airplane toilet waste broke free and began falling fast. Daniel reached the street. Margaret stepped off the curb after him. The sky whistled. Daniel looked up. What the frozen block slammed into Margaret's head. A wet, thunderous crack echoed down the street. Margaret dropped instantly, flat on the pavement, very still, very finally, dead again. Daniel stared. A small piece of blue ice slid off her shoulder into the gutter. He waited. 30 seconds, 1 minute. No movement, no groaning, no farting. A police cruiser pulled up. The officer stepped out. "What happened here?" Daniel pointed at the sky. "It fell out of an airplane." The officer blinked, looked at Margaret, then nodded. "Well," he said, "that's definitely an accident." 3 weeks later, Daniel stood in the courthouse again. The clerk stamped the paperwork. Death certificate approved. Daniel exhaled. Finally, the clerk slid the documents forward. Case closed. Daniel looked at them and shook his head. "You can mark it widow status." As Daniel walked out of the courthouse, he looked up at the sky. "Just in case. The end. Love you. Forever."